I'm ready. I'm sweaty.
And shooting.
Ready?
Yep.
All right, cool.
You guys are gorgeous.
So, thank you guys for taking a minute with Below the Scene Readers today.
Thank you.
Awesome. We are here with Aaron and John of Fang. You guys just wrapped up a performance here in Washington, D.C. with Dillinger and Mastodon. So how's the tour been treating you guys?
Awesome.
Really well.
Best tour ever.
Probably the best tour that anyone has ever been on.
Really, it's been fucking awesome.
It really has been really, really good.
No kidding aside, it's been great.
Righteous. So like, what's your criteria for like how you gauge like what's a successful tour? Because I know earlier in the year you did the Metal Alliance tour, which I'm sure was pretty awesome.
I mean, for me at least, it's pretty hard not to have an awesome tour. As long as, I mean, you know, your whole day can suck and be full of bullshit traffic. Like today, we were stuck in traffic all day. We're like, oh man, we're not gonna make the show. Then we got rear-ended. We got in a fucking car accident on the way here, and all that to some people could equal a really shitty day. But we made it here on time. We got our shit on stage before doors opened. We played and had a fucking blast. So to me, all that other shit's erased. It's a good day. That's how I gauge a tour. If you have good shows, and I mean, if you feel like you have good shows.
And one of the things that has made this tour especially good for me, now that I'm talking, is just the whole Mastodon crew and the Dillinger crew and all of the people in the bands are all super nice, easy to get along with people, and they're also very generous. You know, there's like, we're basically nobodies as far as like this whole whatever.
Well, you are.
Well, we all are. I mean, this band is.
I'm somebody.
We're a smallish band, you know, and but they are just immediately we're just like introducing themselves to us, and they're super generous, and you know what's theirs basically is ours, and so it's just like that kind of like welcoming feeling is great. It's
as
really
an opening
good.
band, if they wanted to shit on
Yeah,
us,
there's
they
no
could,
reason
and
for
there's
them to
nothing
be
we
like
can do
that.
about it,
They don't have to be like
we
that at
want
all.
to play in front of their crowd.
Yeah,
right.
We could just be like, well, fun, it's gonna suck tonight, but whatever.
And people are
awesome.
People are coming out early to the shows, which is great. And so it's, the show's been really super fun, and all the people are great. So nothing to complain about.
Righteous.
Yeah.
So it's been kind of a whirlwind year for you guys. I mean, you had the release of Murder the Mountains, which was really received very well, but critics and fans alike. You guys, like I mentioned earlier, did the Metal Alliance tour. Were you guys expecting like this level of success when you dropped it?
No, yeah, of course.
No, we were just expecting.
Yeah, based on our past experience for the 20 years, we knew that it was just we of course not. We weren't expecting it. It's great.
We were expecting to work hard and be on the road a lot.
Yeah,
we have been, but it's a bonus that people seem to actually give a shit. So that's nice.
Right on.
Yeah,
it helps.
Really good.
Very cool. Just going back to the notes.
Sure.
All right, awesome. Okay, so one of the things I always like to touch on with all the bands is because I'm a gear nerd myself. Are you guys like tinkering with any like new equipment, or
No.
do you guys?
We're simple.
Not at all.
Right on.
We're the
Keep it
exact
simple,
opposite. We keep looking at like I was marveling over. I was talking to T-Rope, one of the guitar techs for Dillinger last night, looking at the setup that he was messing with, because there's like all of these cord cables and computers, and I think there was like a satellite uplink and all this crap, and I was having him explain it to me, and I kind of just like glazed over, because we basically have the guitar and then a cord and then maybe a tuner and then the amp, and that's what we do.
I got you.
We can't deal with anything beyond that, and that's what works for
That's
us.
complicated enough.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's like, oh god, I plugged them in backwards or whatever. So, you know, if it sounds good, then don't fuck with it.
Right on. Very cool. Yeah, the sound was gargantuan tonight. It sounded really good.
Thanks.
It was awesome. So now that we're closing up 2011, headed into 2012, like what do you guys have on the agenda?
A lot of stuff, actually.
More touring.
Yeah, a lot of touring.
Roadburn
Yep.
Okay.
Roadburn and some dates after that with Priestess over in Europe.
in April.
Where there's a couple options that we haven't quite worked out yet for maybe another European tour earlier than that, and then a Canadian tour, and like the northern part of the U.S., and then we're going to go back to Europe again in July probably. So a lot of touring. We really want to write a new record too.
Yeah.
It's time to
Somewhere
write
in
a
there
new
we have
record.
to write more jams.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But, yeah, it's gonna be a busy year.
Yep.
Very
Which
cool.
is good.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Awesome. Righteous. So what's tour prep look like for you guys? Like, what do you guys have like kind of like a ritual that like you do, like a lot of rehearsal before you go on the road? You practice to a metronome?
I think there's a lot of talking about rehearsal that goes on. and then I can't make it. I have this thing that I have to get my foot rubbed or whatever, and
Really?
no, but we cancel plenty of rehearsals.
Oh, sure.
We
Well, we've been on this year. We've been on the road so much that when we get home, it's kind of like make up time with family and get your shit together and like clean the gutters and do all the shit that you're not doing when you're on the road, and try to schedule in some practices in there and stuff too. So this, like right before this tour, we were home for 2 months, which was the longest we've been home since February, pretty much.
Yep.
So we tried to practice a bunch, and even tried to to have some of those practices just be like, let's write some new jams.
Right.
But mostly it was just watching TV.
I had caught up on a lot of my programs.
And spending time with family and going on some trips and stuff like that. We played a few local shows, but tour prep is, I guess that was the original question, right? What's tour prep?
It's like
it's
the night
make sure
before
that you
for
have
me.
a full bottle of Gold Bond powder. Make sure that you have enough socks. But yeah, it's like throw everything into your backpack last minute. And our gear, whatever. Like I already told you, our gear is really simple. There's not really, there's plenty of really boring crap that I could tell you about, but there's not really that much that goes into it. There's a lot of panicking and photocopying.
A lot of panicking,
Yeah.
last minute panicking.
Yeah.
Very cool.
When in doubt, freak out.
Awesome.
Yep.
Very cool, guys. So where do you guys, because you're so busy like being on the road and stuff, like where do you draw like your influence from? Do you draw it from like other bands that are out there, bands from the past, or is it more like real life experience? Like where do you guys look for like inspiration?
Yeah, I would say that probably we hear the bands that we tour with and we just try to totally copy their
Rip
songs,
them
like
off.
rip
They're
them off as
popular, well,
yeah,
we're just gonna
exactly.
do that.
The best responses, the biggest crowds, we just rip off those bands. No, I don't know really. I guess we get mostly it's probably from.
I mean, we've all been playing music for so long.
Yeah,
it's like
it's- Some of it is from music that people pass around. You hear about bands and iPods, change hands while you're on the road. But then we also our influencers are kind of mostly rooted in older,
Like most-
70s and
most of my
70s through 90s.
musical influences are the same that they were when I was in 8th grade.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not
Yeah.
like I'll hear a new band and I'm like, fuck, dude, we gotta do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I was inspired this summer by seeing one of my favorite bands from the early '90s, No Means No. Saw them at Bumbershoot, and not necessarily like, oh, I want to write songs like that, but just by the fact that they are still an amazing live band. At like, I think the bass player is 57 years old now, and that they're
Destroy.
yeah, they're so great. So that's kind of like
Running
that's more
circles
of like an
around
inspiration,
kids.
not necessarily for like style, but more just for lifestyle.
Right
Yeah.
on. No, that,
So-
that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I really want to thank you guys for taking a minute with
Yeah,
our readers today. It
no
was
problem.
a fucking phenomenal performance, and we
Thanks.
really look forward to keeping up with you guys, in the coming months. So